We're here today to protest the U.S. government funding for the occupation in Palestine, the occupation of the Golan Heights. We're here calling on the U.S. government and U.S. taxpayers to resist U.S. funding that supports the occupation of the Western Sahara. We're here today to call for an end of U.S. funding for the occupations in Iraq and Afghanistan. These wars have cost trillions of dollars and have cost countless lives. I want to thank all of you for coming out today for Tax Day to protest the misuse of our taxpayer dollars by Israel to colonize Palestinian land, to entrench its illegal military occupation of Palestinian territories, and most of all to commit grave human rights abuses against the Palestinian people, including killing thousands upon thousands of innocent civilians with U.S. weapons that are paid for by us today on Tax Day. We heard a lot from President Obama that change is coming. But so far we haven't seen any change whatsoever in the fact that we're continuing to provide billions of dollars in weapons to Israel to commit human rights violations against Palestinians. And in fact, this January, President Obama sent a record-breaking request to Congress for $3 billion in military aid to Israel. This is a record level for any single 1 year. And he's set to increase it even more over coming years. So we need to make sure that not only the IRS, but the White House and members of Congress know that there are more constructive ways and there are better things to put our tax dollars to use for than Israeli military occupation and apartheid of the Palestinian people.
Tax Day! It's a little bit unusual when we know that our tax dollars are being misspent. We know that we could probably take 25% from our Pentagon budget and still maintain a robust national security. Well, part of that money, $3 billion a year to be exact, is being given to Israel unconditionally. So why are we giving them our tax dollars? And they are not moving a peace process in the Middle East forward. Petraeus recently said that our unflinching support of Israeli apartheid policy is fomenting anti-American sentiment. Blindly supporting Israel is not making the U.S. safer. Take a look at our tax bill. We are paying Israel's defense budget 20%. Nearly 20% of Israel's defense spending is paid for by our tax dollars. Where's the logic? Israel can pay for its own defense spending. Not only that, Israel continues to implement policies that are treating Palestinians like second-class citizens in their own land, bulldozing their homes, attacking the Gaza Strip, brutally killing 1,300 civilians, probably 600 of which were women and children. What kind of policy are we supporting with our tax dollars in Israel? Taxes for war in 1976. They sent me a bill for $1,000 when I was working off the books that I declared, and I said, all that will pay for is one mortar. That's when mortars were cheap, during Vietnam, right after the Vietnam War, and I refused to pay. It was a few years later before I got involved with War Tax Resisters, War Resisters League, and really found out the truth about what was happening in Palestine and how the Israelis had stolen so much of that land. And I'm very proud to say I have not been paying for that either since 1976. Thank you.
Now, President Obama says that he wants to establish a just and lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians. And I guess we should take him at his word. I guess we should believe that he has good intentions. But as long as he's continuing to transfer billions and billions of weapons to Israel every year, peace cannot be established between Israelis and Palestinians. Because it's these very same weapons that are being used to kill any chance of peace from taking place. So really, when you think about it, it's a self-defeating policy to say that you want peace and to go through a whole charade of a diplomatic process when you're then arming a party to the conflict to perpetuate it. When you think about it, it doesn't make any sense.
Got to go! Hey, 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 hey! Occupation's got to go! Hey, 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 hey! Occupation's got to go! Come on, folks, wake up! Why are we giving Israel, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, why are we paying for 20% of their defense budget when they are using our weapons to kill innocent civilians and to occupy Palestinians? This is not what we pay for. We should be paying for our needs at home. Healthcare, housing, health insurance. Come on, folks, wake up! Stand up! Speak out!
Do you know how Israel's misusing U.S. weapons? It's not for legitimate self-defense. It's to occupy. It's to starve. It's to humiliate. It's to kill. These are not legitimate uses for our weapons. We have laws that are supposed to prevent our weapons and our tax dollars from being misused in that way. Yet today the IRS is set to cut Israel another check for $3 billion, $3 billion with a B, of your tax dollars for more weapons. We've asked the commissioner of the IRS to respond to these charges and to investigate these organizations, but so far we haven't heard anything. So our request to you today, good employees of the IRS, is to convey our concerns to the commissioner and to have the IRS investigate these organizations that are illegally funding illegal Israeli occupations with our tax dollars. This is not what we should be giving tax exemptions for. This is not the way that we should be depriving our treasury of tax dollars that are needed to build our infrastructure in this country, to pay for health care, to pay for affordable housing, to pay for the things that our people here at home need and deserve. Not to give tax exemptions to organizations that are promoting ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. This is what these organizations are doing, and we need you all to look into them and investigate them and shut them down. Shut them down just as you would shut down any organization that supports acts of terrorism. You need to shut down these illegal organizations.